Look, Cardi B throwing shots at Offset. She say he got his new girlfriend staying in one of her properties. She want him out. You know what I mean? On top of that, he's threatening to harm her, then harm himself. Yeah, she's saying this man saying he's gonna commit. You know, look, bro, sending porn to her new boyfriend, some homemade shit they had from back in the day, harassing her through voicemails to try to lower her self-esteem. On top of that, him and that mama was stealing from her. Look, bro, she say she is done with this nigga and he has a fucking problem. Now it's on some mental health shit. Look, bro, I already seen the sucker and Offset. Look, nigga, you didn't want the woman, fam. You didn't want her so bad that you thought you was all the way up here. Now after you lose it, bro, you realize you all the way down here. You the same nigga you were when you were wearing them tall tees. Yeah. You that same nigga, bro, that all of a sudden start, oh, the brown shoes doesn't match with the brown shirt. You a sucker, all set, bro. Move the fuck along and leave that woman be. Let you be honest, let you be real. Y'all drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Look, shout out Cardi B. It be like that sometimes. You know what I mean? You might have to do something to him. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. If they don't stop, you gotta stop them. Look, Uncle Luke demands his flowers for starting hip-hop in the South. He say he is the founding father of Southern hip-hop because he dropped Throwing That D with the 2 Live Crew in 1985. Look, bro, he say look it up, Google it. Well, we did Google it. You know what I mean? Ghetto Boys came out in 1986, but what people don't understand is, before the Ghetto Boy was a group, before Jay Prince got them and made them a group, Scarface was already a solo artist. Yeah, Scarface was writing for the group and everything. Let's just be honest, let's just be real. You might have did something so salacious that it got some attention. You was the first one that got the most attention in the South. But being the founding father and saying you started this thing 40 years ago, that's cap. Let's just be honest. And I respect Uncle Luke, but you can't just take everything and say you started this and you started that. That shit was going on long before you. Kool Herc started that shit, and that was in New York, my nigga. But since then, it been moving around, and yes, like I said, he made something that was so raw and uncut. Yeah, it probably got the most attention at the time, you know what I mean? But no, as far as the founding father, that's cap. Look, y'all drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Look, Denzel Washington headlining Othello at the Barrymore Theater in New York City, boss. Yeah, look, bro, this is Shakespeare revival for the people that don't know. Look, theater is his true calling. He say he is a stage actor. That's what he does. He just does film. A stage actor that does film, he learned how to act on stage, not in film. Theater is where his heart is. Look, bro, he's from Mount Vernon, not Hollywood. He want people to understand that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you want people to understand that. Look, bro, you got to take the gems and what he's trying to show everybody that might be an actor or, you know, you got a prospective future. You know what I mean? Look, bro, start at the stage. Yeah, start at the stage, start at the theater. If you want to learn how to get down and become a Denzel Washington Hollywood, understand you ain't from Hollywood. You're from that stage, and you're converting this to that. And if you convey it properly, you've done your job right. But yeah, theater is where you're at, Barrymore Theater. If you want to see Denzel Washington really go. Scars from the playground, y'all drop it in the comments, fam. Look, Kanye West sued for copyright infringement. Look, Alice Merton filed a lawsuit in federal court. She say he used an unauthorized version of her song Blindside on his song Gun to My Head, featuring Top Dollar Sign and Kid Cudi. She dropped it in 22, he dropped it in 23. He asked for permission through BMG Rights Management, and she denied it in 2024. Why? His stance on the whole Nazi shit. Look, bro, Nazis, the swastikas. Look, bro, she's not with it. Why? Because her people are Jewish. Direct descendants of the Holocaust, fam. She wasn't with the shit. Look, bro, for a man that always brags about his production and making his own shit, bro, if you really look into Kanye West, he's always getting sued for stealing somebody's shit. Let you be honest, let you be real. Y'all drop it in the comments, man. I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. Look, Shaq, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, Mr. 7 foot, paying top dollar for proof that Shannon Sharpe is gay. Yeah, he want to know he's zesty. Tasha K just talked to Matt Barnes, and Matt Barnes and let the cat out the bag, bro. He want the proof that this man is in the men. He want to know what makes a man love a man. Look, bro, why does it even matter that bad that you willing to pay for it? Look, bro, he said Shannon Sharpe tried something like that with him back in the day. I don't think that's true, fam. And it might be true, but why does it matter to a man that has, what people will say, everything to know a man's sexuality, bro? This is fucking weird. Like, if you want to know that bad, bro, you might be curious. Yeah, you might be curious. And this a big ass nigga, so it'll look weird for him to come out and what's name, but for you to be trying to investigate and figure out this shit, bro, it might be something going on in your head, bro. Something that struck a nerve in you. Let's just be honest, let's just be real. And this Shaquille O'Neal we talking about. You wouldn't even think this big ass nigga be worried about that. You know what I mean? Y'all drop it in the comments, dude. Shout out Shannon Sharpe, bro. He like who he like. Why does it matter, my nigga, unless you like him? Why do you need confirmation? Y'all drop it in the comments, man. These niggas are weird. Yeah, these niggas are weird. It don't matter how big they are. Yeah, nigga could be big as a tree. Yes, 7-foot tree. Still weird as a motherfucker. Yeah, Shaq weird as a motherfucker. Y'all drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. A young scooter died in South Atlanta after running from the police. Yeah, look, he was evading detention, but the story is really confusing, bro, because a lot of people say he was in there beating the shit out of his girlfriend. Look, that's not true. They say somebody called there, he heard the police banging, he didn't know what the fuck was going on, so he took off in the back. Look, y'all drop it in the comments. Allegedly, while he was running, he broke his leg and bled out through some artery. Look, bro, this whole thing is fucking weird. Fucking weird. Look, y'all drop it in the comments, fam. I don't really know what's going on with this whole thing, but I can tell you, bro, anything could happen. When you leave your house and you doing some bullshit, fam, and you own some other shit, it's like Final Destination. You could slip on a soup can and it could be over for you. The best thing you could do is try to do it right. Don't run from him. Yeah, if you ain't got nothing going on like that, don't run from him. You know what I mean? Just unlock the door, bro. Stash your shit if you got something, but unlock the door. Don't run from him. Because like this, like I said, anything can happen. And obviously, anything did happen. The world may never know. Look, shout out to his families. Yeah, this one is a hard one, my nigga. Yeah, this one is a hard one. Because it made it look like he wasn't living his life right. But the man just ran when he wasn't supposed to and jumped 2 fences. And obviously, something took him out. Look, drop it in the comments. This story is a brewing. Yeah, this story is a brewing. This ain't no laughing matter either. This is serious, dog. This is very serious. Scars from the playground. Shout out little Scooter family, young Scooter family, and everybody that was even related to him, whether it was musically or by blood. Drop it in the comments, because the man been around for a minute and just never really just got his just due, which is another crazy thing. They'll take you off the map when you've been around for 20 years. Why? Conspiracy, mystery, who knows? Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Look, Suge Knight throwing shots at Master P. Say Master P did everything he could to make No Limit Records operate like Death Row. Look, bro, so if he did, you know what I mean? If a nigga take your blueprint because you ain't using it right, you know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. Shout out Master P. Why? That man ain't living like that no more, bro. Yeah, Master P on his business shit. On his business shit with those. And he's the head coach, bro. He don't care about none of that other shit, bro. Yeah, he tried to do No Limit like that, bro. Man, No Limit Records ain't made you know what? It's a new No Limit with Lil Romeo, so I ain't gonna just shoot him the shit, you know what I mean? But come on, bro. Master P ain't thinking about no music, fam. Not like that. Drop it in the comments, bro. Whatever Suge Knight on, Suge Knight is on. But this is a nigga that just locked up, locked in and clanking, just talking. He's just talking. Some of it good, some of it ain't, you know what I mean? for a certain point, bro, I just stopped listening to Suge Knight. Let's just be honest, let's just be real. I stopped listening to him when his podcast stopped. Now he just on the art of dialogue, and he just happy to have him. Let's just be honest, let's just be real. What you ain't gonna do is disrespect Percy Miller. Yeah, you don't disrespect Percy Miller. He's a stamp to the South. Why? Like I said, he is not with the bullshit anymore, fam. He is on some other shit. He's on some other shit. All you could do is salute that and respect that, man. Shout out Master P. Drop it in the comments, bro. Scars from the playground. This nigga got some nerve. Yeah, keep it on the West Coast, nigga. Don't bring your shit down here. Yeah, keep that shit on the West Coast. You're better off talking about Snoop Doggy Dogg and Daz Dillinger and all them other hoe ass niggas. But when you come down here talking about that shit, we ain't gonna have it. Y'all drop it in the comments. H-Town, drop your H's if you got one. You know what I mean? If you don't got a H, drop wherever you're from in the comments, man. Scars from the playground, but we ain't gonna let Suge Knight, keep your shit on the West Coast, yeah? Yeah, keep your shit on the West Coast, yeah? Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Look, Lil Durk, despite being locked up, fam, new album, Deep Thoughts, garnered 7 million views, streams in one day, fam. 7 million streams, dog. He's really vulnerable on this album. And it's another classic, bro. He say he didn't want his voice to get lost and people to forget about him. Understand, he's coming home soon. Look, bro, the dude got a lot of faith in there. Got a lot of faith in there, bro. A lot of people down this man for what he allegedly done, but you gotta understand, everybody that was involved in any of this signed up for it. They didn't think they were gonna make it past 21, you know what I mean? And this is not an excuse for anybody. Not an excuse, but everybody that partook in anything was willing to partake, bro. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. I don't know what they got on him. I don't know what they got on him, but I will say this man might shock the world and actually come home. Y'all drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play.
If they throw it, I'ma catch it to play the game like Tetris. I'm one of a kind rap. People tell me I'm a clip. I've been working 24 hours, summertime to winter. I ain't really at the chill, it gotta be about business.